Sports coverage of the National Football League is in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium. Ready for football now from sunny North Carolina. And off we go from uptown Charlotte. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. First play, and Young is going to throw it. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. Well, that's not the way you want to start. A first pass attempt and a first drop all in one.
Well, you've got plenty of time to make up for it, but obviously not the way you want to get things started. Got to shake that off and get going.
Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Young now. And the Raiders have got him. Jeremy Chin, so dangerous wherever he's at on the field, and that time he gets in there for the sack.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Here's the punter, Martin, out to kick it away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. And here's a handoff out of the gun. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. That one good for 13 and a Raider 1st down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Someone's looking fresh, and this O-line is definitely licking their chops. Everyone likes to run block. If you're an offensive lineman, nice early burst, nice gain too.
2nd and a couple. Now Smith. Under pressure, and down he goes. Tershawn Wharton. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. That'll be caught right side by the rookie receiver. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 27-yard line. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
That to the sideline and incomplete. Boy, they're going to say there's a receiver in the area. That was close to grounding, but it's second down. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he stopped immediately there. All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he'll take this one down to the 36. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
When a drive goes this long, you have to give a lot of credit to the guys up front, those big fellas, because the offensive line is putting something together that allows them to continue to control the ball. And I know a lot of people think they get fatigued on a long drive. Actually, a lot of times the reverse happens. They actually get energized because they're controlling the ball, and they're the ones dictating to the defense.
And that is incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field, and it took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
4th down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. The kick by Carlson is good, and the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their 2nd drive. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3
and
and
now
out.
they have that opportunity.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Jeremy Chin picks it off. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. After the interception, here's Smith. Short throw caught by Bowers. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Smith. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 46 yards rushing for him now to this point.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing second and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like second and impossible, now has him within throwing range of a 1st down.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. To the sideline and incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
Now the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. They'll try and run for it. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Smith. Forced out to his left. And Smith able to move the chains before sliding down. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Rolling to his... Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. On 1st down, they'll start out with Hubbard. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
2nd down, another chance for Hubbard. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the 1st. Looking to throw, Young. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
Oh, that's a big let off there on 3rd down because you've got to account for the running back coming out of the backfield. They didn't, and they got burned, not just for a 1st down, but for big yardage as well.
Young to throw it. That's taken in. It's Xavier Legette. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Now Young. It's caught inside the 25. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play there for Carolina. 52 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
Hubbard trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
2nd and goal from the 1. Hubbard. No signal, and now they say he did not get in. He is stonewalled at the 1. They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's 3rd and goal. So now things get interesting on 3rd and goal from the 1.
This almost becomes a Darwinian call, doesn't it? Almost survival of the fittest here. I know we can go all cliche. I'll go ahead and do it. Who wants it more here?
Oh, Young loses it. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. Bad place to fumble down here in the red zone. At least they got it. They'll have another shot. Or no, they won't have another shot. It's going to be fourth down. Maybe they can at least salvage 3.
And they were thinking 6 points because at this position of the field, it's go time, right? You take your shots at the end zone. They weren't able to do that one. So you look over at the sideline. There's the head coach saying, oh, heck, kick it. Field goal time.
And his kick is indeed good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Las Vegas' offense back out there ready to go. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. These two teams all tied after one. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it 2nd and 7. Out of the gun, Smith. Open man right side, Myers. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Throwing is Smith. That's caught by Tucker. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have the Raiders first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Brought down by DJ Wanham. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Off of play action, here's Smith. That is caught, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Trey Tucker 33 yards. And the Raiders have taken the lead. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is now 10-3. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And they'll start on the ground with Hubbard. Broken tackle. And he'll get this to the 32.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
Throwing, Young. Evans has it left side. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. 3rd down, Young from the gun. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Panthers 1st down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route, but he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
Thielen going to go in motion right. Young will set to throw. They'll run the screen with Hubbard. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Here's 2nd and 10. To throw, Young. His throw incomplete. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Young to throw it. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a halt. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and they did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. So out come the Raiders. Now it's Smith. That'll be caught by his tight end, Ian Thomas. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
From the 25, here's 2nd down and a yard. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Right back to him on first down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And the safety, Trayvon Merrick, up to make the play defensively.
All runners count on their eyes to find the gaps and creases, to find open space. There was absolutely none on that one. Totally swallowed up on that play.
2nd and 10. Geno now to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10. Here's a quick throw right side, and it's complete. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. 69 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
A shotgun snap for Smith. Short throw caught by Bowers. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 10 more there and another first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Here's 2nd and 4 from the 24. Throwing now is Geno. That's into the hands of his tight end Bowers. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Now Geno. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks. Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. Here it's 3rd and 2. Smith. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Raiders are going to have 1st and goal coming up as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 2.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders go up by 2 touchdowns. Carlson on for the PAT. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Well, now how about this return? And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. And the Panthers coming out now. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Young working out of the gun. This is caught by McMillan. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Two yards to go, 2nd down. Young. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. There's a short throw caught by Sanders. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. It's a gain of 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. From the gun, here's Smith. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. Now a timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Here's 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, Smith. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Pulled in at the 24. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Final 10 seconds of the half as they've got it 1st and 10. Young. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just 1 snap of the football. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. Final play of the half, Young. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. 17-3 the score as we resume action for the second half on EA Sports. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
And he'll even avoid the contact in the end as he will finally slide to a hole. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
The defense did its job of taking away a quick throw, but that's only half the battle because they've got to get to him before he can make a run for it. A little bit late containing him there, so he makes a nice gain out of a play that looked like it was in trouble.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
To throw is Smith. Here's Tucker, complete on the right side. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now a handoff looking right. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
The kick by Carlson is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they picked up right where they left off from the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Well, another modest gain there on that one. And I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
And you start to think if it's going to happen for these guys, it's got to start with this drive. Down 3 scores, they need to start making some inroads. And that'll help the cause there as they pick up good yardage and a first down.
From the shotgun, it's Young. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Straight ahead with Hubbard. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. After the interception, here's Smith. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Now Smith. And this is going to be incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
Daniel Carlson set for the Raider field goal. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. Carlson able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they're able to come away with the interception, Charles. They aren't able to move the ball all that much. However, they do get 3 out of it with a field goal.
Yeah, and anytime you do force a turnover, you have to come out of it with points. Everybody wants 6, but they'll take the 3 there. Now it's their opportunity to do it again.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Carolina offense about ready to go. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose, and that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
The slot man in motion right. Young now. And a quick throw here, that's complete. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's second down. Now here's Young. There's a short throw caught by Sanders. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve, throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11. First down. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
And this is caught by Evans. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that's going to bring up second down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. A give up the middle, Hubbard. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. In motion goes the tight end. Out of the gun, it's Young. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 18. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Throwing, Young. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Bryce Young, an 18-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers get a bit closer.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that cuts this lead down to 13. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Now the Vegas offense heading back out there. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. 2nd and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or did they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4. Throwing is Smith. And just not enough on the throw there, down around his feet and incomplete.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Smith now to throw. Short throw there, caught by Thomas. And this won't be enough. Stopped a yard short after a gain of 3, 4th down.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. This will be fielded at the 17. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. And onto the field, here come the Panthers.
Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Young will set to throw. There's a short throw caught by Sanders. He's now just 3 yards shy of 197 yards receiving on the contest and a 1st down. Thielen going to go in motion right. Now Young. They'll run the screen with Hubbard. The 1st down screen pass, good for 5.
Boy, that was certainly well read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle him for just a short gain.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 5. On the give, this is Hubbard. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the 4th and final quarter of play. Third down, Young from the gun. And the Raiders have got him. Max Crosby able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks, pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
A shotgun snap for Smith. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Off of play action. Here's Smith.
This is caught by Tucker.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The pickup goes for 16 and a Raider 1st down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
That's caught by Tucker.
And they regroup defensively after the broken tackle, getting to him just beyond the 45. Only able to gain a couple there, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. This is about what you'd expect. Defense selling out to stop the run. Pretty good on 1st and 2nd down.
Yeah, you're no longer really worried about making sure you're holding up the offensive lineman as a defensive lineman. Now you're just talking about getting in gaps. You're trying to get upfield, penetrate, and make a play on the football, especially, before the running back really gets control of it. That's what you're doing. You're also bringing the linebackers in to jam the line of scrimmage.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And this will be taken at the 13.
A good work bringing that one back as he picks up about 16 on the return. And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10.
Carolina getting set to take the field.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
Now Young. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
And they'll run on 1st down with Hubbard.
And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
From the 46, here's a 2nd and 4.
Young to throw it. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 4. Young to throw it. That is caught. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long.
Thielen going to go in motion right.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. They'll score that a 36-yard punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession.
Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And this nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. Well, a turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he'll get this up to about the 40.
98 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
And he is going to have the Raiders' first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A Raider first down, 17 yards.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
And the ball moved up here now to 2nd and 7 following the penalty. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Panthers are right back in this football game. Following the interception, Young.
There's a short throw caught by Sanders.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 2nd down. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You've got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Here is Young. And once again, this is Sanders. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick-6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the third row.
Young's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw.
He'll find McMillan here.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A good-looking drive so far for the Panthers and a first down here.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Young. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go, ball on the 43. Again, it's Young. Throw left side on target to Thielen. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you say, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
Young working out of the gun. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
They'll run for it. It's Hubbard.
And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. 4th and inches in plus territory. That seemed like a prime spot to go for it.
It certainly did, and there's so many things that go into it. Are you too far away for a field goal, but not far away to punt it? Do you just feel like your offense is better? I just think in today's NFL, offense feels like it has to take care of the football, has to keep the ball, because scoring is up. You better maximize every possession. You trust your offense more than you trust your defense in today's league.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there of finding him in stride for really good yardage.
Staying, but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
Here's Young from the shotgun. It's caught by Sanders. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Here we go. 1st and going to throw. This ball complete. It's an out route to Thielen.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Young. He'll get this complete to the running back, Hubbard.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7.
Malcolm Kuntz in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Here it is, 4th and goal. Here's Young.
And it's caught. He's got it for a late touchdown, but probably a little too late. It would take a miracle of epic proportions if they're going to pull this one off. Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough, but they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
Extra point right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So looking at this situation, you should have time for the onside kick and then at least one play. And it's the Raiders that'll come up with it. And that will put victory in sight for the silver and black. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that, just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left.
The Raiders offense coming back out onto the field.
And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
The Raiders likely going to get out of this with a victory as they take a knee. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. Down to a knee, here goes Smith, and that should all but do it.
So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And this not always an easy proposition, Charles. You had a West Coast team that traveled east, but they got the job done.
And there's so much that goes into it because your body time and your body clock different from what you're used to west, because if you go east, you're going to lose up to 3 hours. Right? So is your body going to be awake when it's time to play? A lot of teams actually rehearse it. They practice it. Maybe the week of the game, they move everything up to that time frame so guys get used to doing it that way. I remember when I played at Tennessee, when we had to go from east to west, our trainer Tim Karen said, leave your watches on East Coast time. Every piece of information we got was East Coast Standard Time. Try to psychologically tell us what to do, as well as prepare our bodies the same way.
That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.